Welcome to yet another episode on the steps of baking. This is a 13-part video series in which we take a closer look at each individual step of the bread baking process. From weighing out your ingredients to cooling your bread down after baking, each of these steps is just as important as the next, and all of them affect the end result. So in this episode, we'll talk about bench rest. This is the step that follows pre-shaping. And bench resting is exactly what it sounds like. We are letting the dough rest on our workbench. Now, the most important reason for resting is to make the gluten relax. When you pre-shape or fold your dough, it gets tight and it's very hard to shape. And depending on how tight it was pre-shaped, it may take longer or less time to rest. If the dough is not rested properly, it will be difficult to shape and you also risk tearing your dough. Now, resting time is directly affected by how tight the pre-shape was done. The tighter you shape your dough, the longer you'll have to rest it. This is not a big problem when it comes to sourdough bread, which ferments quite slowly. But if you are making a yeasted loaf and you shape it really tight and it's already fermenting rapidly, then it will take too long for it to relax and it might overproof. You might skip this step for certain bakes. For example, if you were to make only one loaf of bread, which did not require any pre-shaping, then you might not need to rest your dough. You might just shape it after the bulk fermentation and leave it for its final proof. Now here's another example of where you would skip the resting step. We're making a sourdough ciabatta. This is being divided and cut into its final shape in one step. So the pre-shaping step and the bench rest step is being left out because it's not needed. Another kind of bread where you don't need the resting stage is a rye bread, because you shape it and leave it to ferment right after mixing. And in short, that's all about bench resting. It's quite a simple step, nevertheless important. And as always, if you have any questions or suggestions, write them down in comments. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, check out my other videos. I publish recipes on Wednesdays and bread baking principles on Sundays. Got many more interesting videos coming up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.